there, one kite. I'm already into the 420, damn it.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live. Yes, we are live here at lifestyleradio.net. We're also live at Spreaker, and we're also live at TuneIn Radio. Tonight on the program, I have my joint host, Kim Cooper, and she has brought us a couple of guests for tonight who I think have a thing for candy and have fought their way out of a sticky situation. But before we meet Kim's guests, it's time for us to have a quick gab. Hi, Kim. How you doing?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad, Al. I'm all excited. I'm getting ready to go on a little week-long excursion down to southern Ontario. So I'm always happy to get out of the north for a little while.
Yeah, well, hey, it's when you get down here, it's at least you cover a lot of ground.
Yeah. I try and go all over the place as much as possible and cover a lot of places while I'm in the area when I'm down there. We're taking part in the Indigenous Cannabis Cup this weekend, which is taking place in Tyendinaga territory, just outside Belleville. While we're down there, I'll be paying a visit to Tim Barnhart at Legacy 420. We'll also be taking a drive out to Camelford and visiting Canada's.
Yes, talking about Canada's, I'm sitting in Canada's front window right now watching the traffic go by and watching some of the locals sitting across the street on the curb.
Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to come. I can't wait to come and visit and see the shop and you know, put a visual effect to all of the things that we've discussed over the last little while that you've been broadcasting out of there. So it'll be a good play to be able to get a feel for the place and visit Wayne in person at his great shop.
Wayne says he can't wait to see you.
Oh, I can't wait to see him as well. It's been far too long.
Good. Yes. Okay, let's get on to a couple things here. I haven't spoken to you. I know you were a person in the last time you were on the radio show, we talked about the fact that you don't smoke so much flower anymore. You're doing more concentrates.
Yeah, really heavily into the concentrates these days. The last year or so, I've really gravitated away from flower,
right.
Really for the majority of my consumption.
Yeah, now, and so you're into concentrates, e-nailing, and what's going on with when you're not, you know, obviously you're going on the road for a week, what are you going to do? You can't plug your e-nail in your car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big e-nail fan. When I'm sitting here at my desk, my e-nail is plugged in and ready to go beside me at all times. When you're away from the desk for anything, whether it be going shopping or going on a long road trip, such as what I'm doing, you know, it becomes problematic if you're a cannabis consumer. I've tried a lot of portable vaporizers over the last year. I've got a little collection of them in a cup over here. Of ones that I've had, and it's like, yeah, no, never again. You know, loaded it once, said, yeah, forget it. I've got a little jar, with a whole pile of them in different styles and stuff. Yeah, parts and pieces, and you know, oh God, you know, it gets quite a bit of stuff. There's so many brands out there. I got this Shatterizer from Mary Jane Baker, and I got to tell you, this thing is really very, very cool. I have not had the usual problems with it. I take it with me everywhere. It's been a godsend. It's been a lifesaver. I can drop in my concentrate into the center. It's got a nice deep bowl, and it's got a lid so stuff doesn't fly out and wind up clogging your mouthpiece and all these other issues with spilling over and all of that. It's got a nice little lid that goes on it. It keeps it all intact, you know.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. fantastic. And the charge lasts a very long time. I was
That's what I
impressed by
found
that.
too. Yeah, that's what I found as well. So
Yeah,
good,
yeah, really
good.
cool
Yeah, because
product.
I talked to Alicia at her last show, and she got one herself, and she was really impressed with it. And then I had a patient near me. He tested it out, and he came here to Canada Days, and he bought one himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've got a jar, like an old mug that I got on vacation. It's actually from Jamaica. It's a Jamaica mug, and it's filled with vape pens, that are no longer usable for one reason or another. So many problems, so many issues with them. I've been using the Shatterizer for almost 30 days nonstop, and not a single problem, not a single clog. Every toke is as good as the first.
Oh, good stuff. Glad that it's been a success for you.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. A lifesaver when you're on the road. Doing events and stuff for 20 GMM. I mean, that thing was in my hand the whole time.
Okay.
I couldn't have been happier, for sure.
Good. Glad to see you found something you can be mobile with.
Yeah,
Likewise.
fantastic.
Now, as far as news articles, I see something in the news that sort of connects with our guests. We'll have to talk to our guests about that when we bring them in. And I see here that they're warning people that both the cannabis candies are off limits.
Our wonderful government, and we had to, of course, bring this story in tonight because of who our guests are tonight. I'm sure they will have a lot to say about this particular news item that we're going to discuss. Yeah, put away the gummy bears, put away the lollipops and the chocolate bars. At least the ones.
Oh, God.
When government legalizes cannabis later this year, edibles will not be on the menu and not on the approved list in 2018. It could take up to 12 months before they slowly introduce edibles.
Well, there's lots of people who believe it's a mistake, and that includes a food policy researcher from Halifax. Says the government's missing out.
Yeah, they're missing big time. Despite their illegal status, you can buy edibles pretty much online anywhere, and they're delivered to your door right here in Canada. It's not going to put a dent in, and it goes well beyond the brownies and the cookies of days gone by.
That's the thing. They say they don't want to have candies that entice children. What kind of children doesn't like a brownie?
Yeah. How do you have a non-enticing candy to a child? I mean, we haven't had a child in the house in 20 years, and we've got gummy bears that are not medicated in my cupboard right now. Because my husband is a candy junkie. He loves his candy. I mean, who said that the gummy bears are for kids only? Who said that?
And are they gonna come in white individual wrappers with warning labels about all these lists that are bigger than the package?
A big-ass bag or a big-ass bucket.
Yeah.
You can easily open. I mean, it's a completely different packaging scheme, setup, everything else. Most manufacturers of edibles are pretty careful these days. Everything is mostly properly labeled, letting you know what's inside, letting you know that it is, in fact, a medicated product in some way. In some manner.
Yeah, they need something on it so people know what's in there. But
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our guests. All right.
Yeah.
And as I said, they are a couple of people, and I think, as I said, have a fond thing for candy and have fought their way through a sticky situation. We'd like to welcome our friends, Doug and Michelle Sikora, to the Pace Radio Show. Hello, Michelle and Doug. How are you doing?
Good evening, Kim and Al. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Sunshine Coast. It's only about 30 degrees. We're sitting on a deck listening and watching the sunshine.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking at a cement building outside of a window.
I'm in my basement office looking up at the sky. That's all I get.
I won't tell you what I was looking at before the show. So, the two is S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe, right? And we were just talking about candies and stuff. What do you guys think?
Oh, man, you don't know how much you're getting me riled up there.
we can hear you restraining yourself, so I figure we got to get this right off the bat.
Oh, for sure. I don't, like that whole thing. I'm going to let Michelle speak, but I got to get one thing on my brain. It's like you guys are saying about this attraction to kids. You know what? The reason that the S&M Sweet Shoppe has over 200 different items on my menu, made by me, okay? Yeah. It's because I know that every person loves something different, has an attraction to something that acquires their taste, that yes, it brings a kid out on you in a way that as an adult, you remember something you taste, but if you can taste something that helps you out, and everybody's different, so nobody's going to want, like you said, just a brownie or just a lollipop or just a chocolate. That's why we have teas. We have 200 items on our menu for people to choose from, because everybody is different. And when you're saying about attracting the kids, because kids are allowed into liquor stores, and I walked in, I was astounded the other day because there are now Pop Shop and Hires root beer with alcohol that look exactly like a pop from the store that has alcohol. I was appalled when I seen that. And now they're saying that we're attracting the kids. Hey, government, you are attracting the kids, that you allow kids into liquor stores and selling that on shelves.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I have to agree. I saw that Pop Shop in the liquor store. I thought, wow, hang on here. And then I saw some.
You put that in your fridge. You put that in your fridge, and no child, because you can barely see the writing that it's alcohol. I thought it was a Pop Shop pop.
It looks very similar, very, very.
No
similar.
kid is going to notice the subtle difference. That's for sure.
Nope.
Yeah. Definitely not. And for us, we've always, hence it's in our name, medicinal.
Yeah.
Medicinal Sweet Shoppe. And that's what we've always focused on, is the medicinal side and the therapeutic uses of cannabis. Okay, we put it in a pleasant flavor for people. Yep. Sometimes those happy memories that we can trigger is therapeutic.
That's right.
So, that's what I was saying about when you're a child and you remember something that just made you feel good inside, that helps also therapeutically and medicinally, using that candy to help you.
And there's a reason we're having our victory party on June 11th, and there's a reason why we picked that day. That was the day that Owen Smith won his victory in the Supreme Court of Canada that gave patients the right to use cannabis in any form that they choose, according to the Supreme Court of Canada, which is the supreme law.
And that's why our company is here.
For us, we've got over 3,000 members. 65 to 70% of them are senior citizens, and they're the ones who are using our edibles and our topicals. They've already said if they try and stop us from doing what we're doing, they're going to form a line around our store and all finger the government.
I know. It's crazy. Because for a store that has only been, we've been operating before, but we've been licensed by Gibsons. We got our business license. We're also we are also a provincial. We already have our provincial registration, and we also have our federal registration. So what they're saying about these rules, me and Michelle did that 3 years ago, people. Okay? We were ahead of the game because we were thinking ahead. And the final step for us was to get our business license before we opened it. We finally got it last year. And in 1 year, we have over 3,000 new member signups. And the average age, over 75% of those are over 65 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay? So now, when the government says that those clients of ours aren't going to be able to choose a gummy bear or a chocolate of their favorite flavor, like Michelle said, there's going to be a big protest at our store.
Right on. Right on. So, you can always opt to change the shape. And I think that's one of the things they're saying. You can still make gummy candy, but it can't be in the shape of a bear. Well, what the hell difference is that really going to make?
That's what we think, That's exactly what we say. It's like I was saying about the Pop Shop. You look at that Pop Shop can, it looked like when I seen it, I thought, what are they doing selling pop in a liquor store? And I started looking at it, and on the very, very bottom, and no child is going to be able to see that little emblem that says 7% alcohol.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So the kid is
But
going to
that's
say,
okay.
"Oh, it's not shaped like a bear. It's shaped like a leaf, so I shouldn't eat it." It's still a candy.
Absolutely ludicrous. Like, you know,
I mean, do they really think that a kid is going to reason that through? I mean, is that what's in their head?
See, that's like the government. I think they need to get their heads out of, their asses, because we have families walk by our store. We have an area where we're in Middle Gibsons, and from Lower Gibsons to Upper Gibsons is a nice little jaunt up the hill, and we have lots of families walk by. I've seen and heard kids tell their parents that they recognize, because we have marijuana leaves on our store and the storefront. It may look attractive, but the kids have said, that's mom and dad's store to us.
Yeah.
So the kids are not stupid. It's like, come on, guys, let's all remember when we were younger, okay? Yep. And everybody forgets about that, and they get older, and they got to put this new laws and Well, hey, you know what? If the kid wants to get it when he's 12 years old, 13, 15, 17, they'll be able to find it.
Yeah,
correct.
That's right. If they want to get it, they're going to get it. That's the bottom line.
Thank you.
We all did years ago.
Yeah,
we
all did.
Yeah, let's not pretend that we don't remember when we were that age, and that you will be able to get it. So now, instead of letting them be able to have it, let's educate people.
Well, I think what needs to happen is the education focus needs to change. When we were young, we were all told how bad it was, and it was going to make you drop out of school and turn you into heroin addicts and all the fear-mongering. Well, that needs to shift. Now we need to get the education focused in a positive manner about the benefit.
Hey, look at the pothead here that just won our case.
Well, we're gonna get
now, who looks like who looks stupid now? The court or us?
For everybody out there that maybe is not aware, I don't know who that would be, but maybe there are people out there that are just tuning in and not knowing who you guys are. You run S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe out there in Gibsons. It started off as a home operation. You migrated to a new town for your shop opening. You did everything right. You got all your licenses and your authorizations and all that shit that you're supposed to do for operating any business. Now you wind up getting arrested, the two of you,
raided,
Doug, and you got raided, and they charged you with possession and trafficking. Now you've just gone to court for that, right? Now, how long did it take you to get to court?
The final was 26 months and 1 day from the time that the charges were laid until the day that we got our verdict.
Wow.
And we are right. Okay, so I want everybody to know out there, Radio Land, we actually ended up going to court 27 times, okay, over that period. Pardon me?
In 26 months, you went to court 27 times.
That's right. Yep. So let's all figure out the dollar value of taxpayers' money getting wasted here. The whole thing was over 6.5 grams of marijuana that was sold. Michelle was charged with
candy form.
In candy form. Michelle was charged with 3 counts of trafficking, and I was charged with 4, so 7 counts of charges. Basically, we went to court 27 times, and the record, Michelle, the pothead, that's been smoking pot for a long time, her record is 25 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie, people. So, for all those government people that think that pot slows your brain down, you're wrong. You're wrong about certain things, and it actually inspires people. It helps people to a point that, you know what, I think that's why the government's all scared about this, is because they have their own control over this. And it's a point to where
we all know that.
You can grow it. Anybody can grow it. It's a damn weed, people. Don't get overexcited.
Yeah. So
and the government's trying to control that.
And they were trying to charge you guys with trafficking, and the overall amount was total for the charges was only for 6 grams.
Yeah. So in total, it was 19 pieces of candy, and that would be what about the total in dried cannabis would be the equivalent to
6.5 grams to make that candy that we gave to that undercover officer, and we wasted all that money and time.
Wow.
The candy.
For 19 grams of
Over
cannabis.
candy. Yeah.
6 grams of cannabis.
6 grams of cannabis.
Yeah.
How much per gram was that? Did you figure that out?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah.
Especially if we found out we will find out the total value of taxpayers' money that was spent on this eventually.
Yeah, it's available through Freedom of Information. Now that the trial is over, I can apply to the Freedom of Information and find out how much was spent on the actual criminal proceedings.
Wow.
And which I'm going to do.
We're going to do that because our local community, we were asked basically weekly over the last 2.5 years about how our case was going, if they've dropped it and just thrown it out. There were so many people that were inquiring about this, and every time we kept telling them it was still going, you wouldn't believe the disgust in people in our community because there's only 34,000 people on the Sunshine Coast. And when you hear that and all our taxpayers' dollars are going to do this to us and people know us, it was a bit sickening.
Yeah, well, it's just remand after remand, come back again, and changing stuff and forms, and we're not ready, and it's crazy, right? Yeah, I mean, it's completely crazy. It's completely crazy.
Back to the medicinal part, guys. I mean, the whole reason we started our company up is that me and Michelle are both patients, okay? So... Yeah. I'm going to actually admit this. I've said it before, but the system had me on opiates for 23 years. I've been pill free for 5 years now, over 5 years now. When I realized what they were doing to me, it was WCB paying for my OxyContin, so I wouldn't do a claim. And then I finally realized after 5 years on Oxys, I quit cold turkey and I ended up in the hospital here for 3 days. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. Okay,
that's a terrible thing.
That is our biggest crisis. That is our biggest crisis, not only in Canada, in North America, people. You all got to wake up. And you know what? How I got off myself is how we started this company. I got myself off by stopping taking the opiates and taking the candy, and then slowly, over a year, I reduced myself off and collected all my opiates to give back to the doctors and tell them to shove it up their ass. They were blown away because I had enough opiates to basically kill a herd of elephants.
Wow.
And yeah, that's seriously.
And you did it all with
we have a lot of clients. Yeah, we have a lot of clients that we are helping with alcohol addiction and also opiate addiction. It's the biggest crisis in North America, and government's trying to control that. But they realize that they started it and they want to try to fix it. So we are fixing it, but they don't like us fixing it because we're actually helping people.
Having success.
Yes.
Patience.
And it's by choice, by choice of a candy of 200 items. Kim, you've tried some, and not bad, eh?
Yes, I love your candy. Every once in a while, I get a nice little package in the mail from Michelle and Doug, and it's like my birthday or something. I get all excited. It's like, what have I got? And I'm all excited to try the new flavors and stuff. And, he'll send me a little note saying, check out the new flavor. Tell me what you think and that. And it's like, I'm happy to help you out there, bud.
It's like a kid at the candy store, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like when you're an adult and all of a sudden that youth comes back. What does that make you feel like, Kim?
Oh, it makes you feel so great, And I mean, most of the time I'm walking around hunched over and sore and, hurts to move and this and that. And then you get something like that in your hands and it's like, this is so much fun. And you just get a charge out of it.
Yep. Yeah. Our newest line, guys, I can't ship it. I've done medicinal ice cream that tastes like gelato.
And the Canarita machine is back up and running. So we have medicinal Canaritas that served in 3 different flavors daily. But again, in-house.
In-house.
Yeah.
In-house. I can't ship the Canaritas, can't ship the ice cream.
What is a Canarita? You'll have to explain that to me.
So Canaritas, we make them. We have to make a tea to do our extraction, but
out of our garden. Our tea is made out of our garden, organic. We have one of our big sellers is blueberry, raspberry, chocolate mint medicinal tea.
So that gets made, and then it gets put into a margarita machine and blended with ice. But there's no alcohol in it. There's cannabis, so they're a Canarita.
And then
Oh,
it's like a Slurpee. It's like a Slurpee, but it's fresh tea fruit. And then if you wanted to add a bonus to it, instead of ice, we throw in frozen fruit to blend the mix of tea with. So we have people daily. Once we open that machine up, we probably, we're looking to hire somebody just to run that machine.
Yeah, we need a cannerista.
You can go get a. Have you got a Canneritaville?
No, but we're gonna. Yeah,
we're looking for a new store.
Yeah.
We're looking for a bigger spot.
You got Canneritas. You got to have Canneritaville.
yeah.
Well, we got the Jimmy Buffett Cannerita machine, so.
Yeah, well, there you go. You've got to create a table area, and put some grass around it and call it Cannerita.
We already have, Kim.
Yeah,
when you come to our store, you'll see I have already built another deck out at the store too.
Awesome. There you go. Awesome. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, you guys have such great, innovative ideas. And it comes from, like you said in the start there. You started all of this because you're a patient. You helped yourself, and you said, "Hey, I can help some other people." And other people were curious, and they said, "Hey, let me try that," and it exploded and evolved from there. And I guess some people got their back up and decided to try and shut you down, and it didn't quite work out so good. It
didn't work out in their favor. So another part to that story, which is still ongoing, I made a formal complaint to the CRCC, which is the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission. That was in February of 2016. Now, according to the RCMP Police Act, which obviously I've downloaded and have the full
against 4 officers up here.
We filed a formal complaint against the 4 officers that were involved in the raid, and also with all the other issues to do with the neighbors. And so that was supposed to, according to the Police Act, is supposed to be completed within 6 months. Well, due to the major issues involved in my complaint, it actually went on for a year and a half. So according to the Police Act, how they do this is if they have found my complaints to be valid, what their first initial response is to move the officers out of the community.
They don't get fired. They get an X on their name.
Before the complainant, myself, is informed of the outcome. So as it stands right now, 3 out of the 4 officers have been moved off the coast, and that includes the head officer here on the Sunshine Coast.
Sergeant
no
longer is here.
Excellent.
Now we just have 1 more to go.
So 3 out of the 4 officers have they basically announced that they didn't get fired. They just got moved to other locations in BC and basically make it out like they took on new good jobs.
Yeah.
But me and Michelle know different. That these officers actually, were told that basically because of what they did, because they did misconduct.
Well, how it works according to the Police Act, if similar to the justice system, if they feel what the officer's conduct is going to jeopardize the eyes of justice in the community, then they will move those officers. So that's what the outcome is. They know that in our local community, what happened to us, because it's gone on so long, it will jeopardize
safety. Safety in the community. So basically, that was one of the other records I forgot to put on. I didn't put that one in. That's a secret one. So actually, the record for Michelle is at 1 more win.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's 1 tie, 1 loss.
I want to get into all of that. I mean, we're going to find out what the outcome was next. I mean, we basically know what the outcome was, but how you got there, and talk a little bit about Michelle and how she got to do what she's doing, and then go on to future at S&M right after the break.
That's right. Break time. And tonight our bumper music is something a little bit different. It's not a cannabis song, but it does help describe what our guests and what they do. And I like to try to match the song up to our guests, and I think I did that. So we'll see what happens. Then Kim and I will continue our talk with Doug and Michelle. And this is the Pace Radio Show. We are live at lifestyleradio.net.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
This gentleman who can take a sunrise, sprinkle it with dew. Thank you. Cover it with chocolate or a miracle or two. The Candy Man. The Candy Man can. The Candy Man can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good. And who can take the rainbow?
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Are you looking for cannabis news, education, and people's opinions? Are you looking to learn what Canadian and international cannabis advocates are doing, not only now, but what got them to this point in their lives, and what does the future hold for them? Do you want to learn how patients are using cannabis as their daily medication, or learn how their cannabis use helps them with their medical condition? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then I'm going to suggest to you to tune in to Lifestyle Radio. Catch their live weekly shows and have your questions and concerns answered and find the experience you're looking for. Monday, catch your weekly news broadcast with the Reef Reporters. Then on Wednesday, get several hours worth of cannabis public education. We get things started with Cannabis and Coffee with Tamarawana. Then tune in and catch Pottawa with Russell Barth, who calls himself the world's angriest pothead. Finish up your evening with the award-winning Pace Radio Show with Al Graham and joint host Kim Cooper and Alicia Yashishin. No week would be complete without tuning into Friday night's program, the 420 Radio Show, featuring Al Rapp and the 420 Radio crew, Mary Jane Baker and Marcel Gagnac. Cannabis is a lifestyle, and you can catch all your cannabis lifestyle information right here at lifestyleradio.net or at our sister site, 420radio.ca.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet, www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
CTCP now operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CTCP.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck, and wholesaler Nexus. Cannadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Cannadays can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Cannadays. Have your say without saying a word. Cannadays.ca.
Wrap it in the side, soak it in the sun and make a groovy little pie. The Candyman can. You know the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he makes satisfying and delicious. Talking about your childhood wishes, you can even eat the dishes.
Hey, we're back, and we are the Pace Radio Show, and we are live here at lifestyleradio.net, as well as at the sister site, 420radio.ca. Tonight on the program, I'm joined by my guests, or our guests, Doug and Michelle Sikora from the S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe, and my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Well, Kim, I think you still have some questions left over from before the break.
Yeah, lots of them.
We just jumped into those kids and the candies.
We did. We were all over the map in the beginning, so I want to get the whole story out there as to what took place during this trial.
Yeah.
So we went 26 months and 1 day before you actually made it to the final day that you appeared in court just recently. Now, Michelle, you represented you guys. You're not a lawyer.
No, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't even graduate high school, for that matter.
There you go. So you just research this shit then, right?
Yeah, well, I think I went back to school when, well, I'm not going to date myself. We'll just say 10 years ago. But I went to school. I went back for nursing. So after being out of school for 20 some odd years, I had to just teach myself how to study again, how to retain information. And so I pretty much just taught myself how to learn again. And I was just able to take that and being able to look over cases and have a way to retain it. It was pretty much it. And I mean, I spent, thousands of hours doing what I've done.
Now we know what a lawyer firm would have to do, but it's not the lawyer, it's their paralegal people that do it, their team that does this work. Michelle was the team, the lawyer, everything. And the amount of work I've seen her put in, the dedication she put in, blows me away. And, the end result was,
So, it goes to show you, though, I mean, you don't need millions of dollars for a case, right? I mean,
and especially when you believe in something. Yeah, and especially when you believe in something, and that's your true passion, you know. Like when we were just working out of our homes, people would say, well, what happens if you get caught, or what happens, if you get busted? And I'm like, you know what, I'm willing to go to jail for this because this is what I believe in.
We have documentation now that one of our clients that was sent home 2.5 years ago, and we have documentation by hospitals that the gentleman now is 100% cancer-free from using our oil. And that was 2.5 years ago. He was sent home and basically given 3 months to live. Now he's in a full physio rehab. The hospital's freaking out because now they want to make this gentleman walk again.
Wow. Amazing stuff.
I think why Doug brought that up, because that's what we fought for, right?
That's dedication.
Right. That was
one of our clients that we were not going to give up.
Yeah, that's the whole reason that you're out there. I mean, that's how it started. It was your medicine. People said, hey, let me do this too. You supplied them with some. You said, hey, more people want it. There's a need for it. You're supplying a need to a medication that, like you said, your main base is seniors. That speaks volumes. I mean, I know with my main base here in Timmins, the majority of people that I've spoken to are seniors. They are really at the forefront of the ones that are want access to this medicine. And of course, they don't want to be sitting there smoking a joint. They want alternatives. And who the hell doesn't want something that tastes good? Of course,
that's why, again, Kim, like you're saying, I made this company because I couldn't smoke. Because of my back surgery I had in the plastic, I have 6 pieces of plastic in my back. I could not smoke for over a year, but I knew the cannabis would help me. So that's why, again, we developed this company, is because how do I do something? And that's, again, why we'll go back to the taste-wise, trying to attract kids. No, we're not trying to attract kids. It's something that appealed my taste, and it helped me, and it got me off the prescription pills.
And this is the case for so many, which is why what you're doing is such a fabulous thing. Now, through your research, Michelle, you found a little precedence in there, something called the Jordan ruling that came out of the Supreme Court of Canada.
I certainly did. And that was, at the end, our saving grace, really. I mean, but there were so many things. I look back, and I know that if we actually paid a lawyer, this case would have got thrown out a long time ago. There were so many things that had happened throughout the case that I know that I was right. I know I was
right. But we when you get thrown into a fire and the Crown prosecutor has a laptop based back to their office and they're allowed to use this thing, and there's a lot of unfairness in the system.
What I was talking about, when you're in court, being a self-represented litigant, you're not allowed the use of a cell phone or anything like that, whereas the Crown, they are.
So they've got access to everything, so they can research your argument right on the spot and then come up with
on the spot. But you don't have
access. You don't have access.
Yeah, she had a team on her laptop that she was allowed to use, that she was basically talking to her office.
Yeah.
What's the fairness there?
So no doubt if you had a lawyer, then some of your rebuttals that you would have had at the beginning would have gotten this tossed sooner. But in the end, you did find Jordan. Now, Jordan was a 2016 Supreme Court of Canada decision that talked about delays in criminal courts. Yes. Now, so you guys, the judge found in your favor that the Crown caused the delays then, right?
Well, between the Crown and the judicial system, for lack of court time is what actually is how it played out. The judge ruled that 2.5 months of the delay was caused by the defense and the rest by the Crown and the judicial system. So a delay of 19.5 months.
I was never allowed to tell my story. Like, there was a couple times that I just about puked, because the judge, when I was ready and had the nerve to get up on the stand and actually tell the true story where the cops lied. You got to see, that's the thing. When you go in these court systems, they protect the cops, because even though cops are lying, that's not good for safe public, okay? Yeah. So we were in 3 days of trial, and on the 3rd day was my day to finally get up and tell the story of what happened that day. The judge looked at me and stayed us down and eliminated that day of trial that was set, 3 days of trial, because they were so backlogged in Seychelles that we got canceled. I just about puked in there, and
you felt like you got robbed of your story and your day in court.
You're exactly, right? Yeah, exactly, and I was never allowed to.
But when it boils down to it, no matter the emotional side to everything, that when it comes to a court a lot, none of that matters.
Nothing matters.
How deeply we believed in what we did, the passion for what we do, the reason for what we do, none of that matters.
That's right.
No.
That's right. You're absolutely right. But I sympathize with what Doug's saying. He wanted his day. He'd been planning for his day. And to have that taken away, it's a bit of a, like, letting the air out of your sails. But at the same time... But at the same time, I mean, you have to embrace that huge win that, I mean, you're not going to be found guilty. Charges are stayed. This is a big win, right? At the same time.
Huge for a lot of other people. This is going to help. Michelle's win is going to help so many other people. Even our friend Bob Woodsley. Bob Woodsley was ready 3 days before us. And I'm hoping that he listens to Michelle and uses our case and brings it into court, because he should, because he was. His case has gone on longer than ours, and we've told him.
Right.
Michelle told him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I speak to Bob. I speak to him quite frequently, actually, and he absolutely needs to use this this precedent.
You know, I understand, you know, you want to set a precedent and get your story out there, you know, but when it boils down to it,
you want to get off.
You need to get off. If you want to carry on in this industry with what is happening right now, those charges would have ended everything. And it wouldn't have just affected Doug and I. It would have affected the dozen employees that we're up to now. It would have affected the 3,000 clients
in 1 year
that we're up to now. You know,
I mean,
so it wasn't
that's your bottom line, right? You're concerned about your business. You're concerned about the business that you've established and you're growing. Like you said, you've got over a dozen employees that rely on you for a paycheck. And with the new laws coming out with legalization, if you are convicted of cannabis trafficking, cannabis offense, then you will not be granted a license to be a distributor.
They would pull our license and we would lose our company.
And not just that, for myself, I mean, Doug still falls under the old MMAR system, but I'm under the ACMRPN, which has to be renewed every year. And if you have a cannabis conviction on your record within the last 10 years, you don't get to grow for yourself. So I would no longer be able to produce my own medicine. And this is the medicine that how many people rely on?
Yeah, but
not just myself.
Again,
I mean,
that would have been a huge, court case because we would have stood up for it because they basically would have said to Michelle that she can't do it herself. She has to go buy from an LP.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to happen.
So, I mean, there are numerous ways that this would have been hugely detrimental to you guys had they gotten away with this.
Unbelievable.
But, you know, we just stood our ground. You know, we went and seen a very prominent cannabis lawyer at the very beginning of this, and he pretty much said, well, this is cut and dry. You sold to an undercover cop without a license. You should just plead out. If we would have listened to him in 2016, we wouldn't be where we're sitting right now.
We'll be sitting on that deck that you've seen the pictures of, Kim.
That's right. That's right. And I do enjoy those pictures, Doug, by the way. I
know a lot of people do. There'll be another nice sunset tonight, trust me, because the clouds cleared and it's like I said, we're sitting on this new deck and it's plus 30 right now. I can't believe how hot it is out in BC right now. It's crazy. We actually got forest fires in Kamloops.
Well, I'm envious of that. Being a Northern Ontario girl at the moment, I'm very envious.
I can imagine.
She's probably still got snow in the woods.
Yeah,
I have family in Thunder Bay. So I know.
Yeah. The wooded areas do have certain sections that still do have some frost cover. Yes. So sad to say, yes, it's true. So that's fantastic. So you got off, your charges got stayed. Things are still in full swing ahead and full speed ahead for S&M Sweet Shoppes.
Well, it was back to business as usual.
Well, except for, Michelle still has some work ahead of her.
I'm going into file in the Supreme Court an application to have the monetary value of all the perishable items returned to us, and also
$80,000 still,
and also all of the non-perishable items. I mean, they took all of our jars that we had our candy displayed in, candy boxes, wrapping, flavoring. I mean, our sandwich boards, our banners.
It really sucked is the day sorry language, guys. The day they took all the stuff, the day before, we just went to town and spent like $1,000 on candy wrapping.
And they confiscated your candy wrappers?
Yeah, yes. And this is what we couldn't understand because you know how I also started the company is what I used to do is I would take my creations and I would go down locally to my town and not make it medicinal because I can do that. I can take that same candy, Kim, and make that taste exactly the same way, and it's non-medicinal. Right. So how the menu gets started is I go around town, make 100 butterscotch brownies or whatever was my new creation, and give it out town. And as long as I got 99% or higher, we put it on our menu.
Yeah.
But we would donate our money, our time, and go out and give it to people in the community, and they knew it. I'd give it to the mayors.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just something that we do, and that's how our menu was created, is get the people that love the taste, just like I said.
So, I mean,
Everybody
why would they confiscate? I don't understand the reasoning behind confiscate. I mean, you obviously do this. So who's to say that the wrappers weren't going to be used for the non-medicated candy?
Exactly.
Well, it's because in the search warrant, it said anything to do with the production of the edibles. But here's the thing. They took all the wrapping and the flavorings, but they never took the 100+ molds that Doug had.
Yeah.
Or how about the 30 bottles of tincture that were in the cellar that they seen that weren't labeled, or the 3.5 pounds of dried cannabis that was right beside the stove that was left?
Wow! Holy smokes!
Okay, so we can't.
Oh yeah. You remember, like they even left our plants and everything. They didn't take any of that.
But they
We
took
can't figure
candy
this out.
wrappers. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand. I fail to understand the logic behind
Comprehension, we can't figure it out.
Well, I'm with you there, that's for sure. So you're going now, so it's not over then. You're going after them for the return of your property or the monetary value of anything that is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the value was in the evidence that they claimed that all the edibles, which would be perished now, we basically would have to throw those away when we get them back, was worth $40,000. We're not going to contest that. We're just going to ask for a paycheck.
Yeah, okay. Well,
So we made a one-day sale.
$40,000.
We made a one-day sale to the RCMP for $40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Officer.
Yeah. Well, it did happen
I'll
to
take
be
that
the
check right to the bank.
It was the night we got raided. That evening, it was their Christmas party. So who knows what ended up happening with
That's
it?
kind of strange, eh? That evening,
Their
the
Christmas
RCMP.
party. Oh, there
No
isn't
shit.
anything in evidence now anyway then.
No.
Okay, everybody's listening, and well, yeah, that's probably right. There's probably like the rats got into the storage locker, and there's only about a quarter left.
Mice got in. That's what happened. It was the mice.
It was the mice again.
Yeah. We know.
Well, it's pretty funny though. We drive around town in our van still, which is covered in medical marijuana symbols everywhere. We still have never, ever been pulled over by any officer, and we now have the local RCMP wave at us. It's pretty funny.
It's ironic because there are good RCMP. Don't people, you may have a run-in with a bad one, and we did. You just you can't get mad and angry because that doesn't get you anywhere. You got to figure it out, and the way Michelle figured it out, and we did it the legal way, which, that's the way you got to do it. And it's, wow. I mean, it's seriously, you got to understand that the RCMP and that there are really, really, I mean, we just had an incident last weekend. I won't go into that one. They helped us out so much. I lost my wallet and phone, and I was retrieved within 6 hours, man. I mean, they did a fantastic job. But what happened with us is just bad. It's just bad apples. That they don't realize that they have bad apples in the system, and they have to get rid of these people. Instead of shifting around, no, they should be fired. Because if I did a bad job at what I did, hey, Kim, if you fell off my deck I just built when you're sitting there enjoying a puff, would you be mad at me?
Would you get him to build a deck for you?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
But they still get a job.
No, we'll move it to the East Coast instead.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
We'll get you building out there.
Too much bad weather out there for me.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what they do. They just shift them around, I mean, you get to retain your job. And it's true. They should be held accountable. And that's a big problem in today's society is not being held accountable for one's actions. It's really big issue. And I think that goes in all genres of life and parts of life in general, not just in the police force, general community.
Oh, right.
There's a real lack of responsibility and a lack of people holding one accountable. It's almost as if bad behavior is acceptable now and shrugged off because it's so common.
And nowadays, people get to hide in social media behind a keyboard and get to play keyboard warriors and go out and hurt people and try and ruin somebody's life. And then, and they never have to be accountable.
Which we have been dealing with, is another thing. And it's like, this is crazy, man. Like, this is the age that you're supposed to be able to protect it. But again, I think the reason that if these, police officers were in our small community found, that would cause a safety public. You know what I mean? The public would be all of a sudden not trust RCMP, because if all of a sudden 4 in a small community like ours were found to be fired, they can't do that.
Yeah.
They have to watch, and that's why I think this whole trial went on the way it was, is because they believe, I think the judge understood that, we're done wrong, but unless we prove it, because he has a job to do, just like anybody. But they get paid, they get retirement. It's not like me. Like, I'm in construction. I killed my body. I was in there 35 years. I get nothing. I get a pat on the back for a lot of money I made for companies. A government politician, as soon as they do 4+ years, get a retirement package for the rest of their friggin' life.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
God,
I wish somebody would have told me that when I was a kid. Because I would have been a politician.
Yeah, if different career paths would have been chosen. I mean, really,
you would have been retired. You can be retired as a politician by 25.
Yeah, you can be and collect your pension and everything else. And
why taxpayers? Yeah, let's not go there because I get it. One of those things.
You're still pushing for one more cop to be removed from the situation. 3 of them are gone. You're looking to get your stuff back. So I mean, that's a future issue. So I mean, we've got more to talk about after the next break for sure. But we're definitely already going to have to talk about having you back to see how that goes.
Well,
hey, you know what? I was going to say, you know what? That might be the victory party. You get the next interview.
What were you going to say, Al?
Well, I was going to say, because the way things have been going, this is the 3rd time that Doug and Michelle have been on the program. We had them on when the case first started. We had them on partway through to get an update, and now we're having them on just before the victory party. So, keep following right along.
We'll keep following right along and see what becomes of the next phase of this in the trial to try and get the stuff back.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's go for a commercial break, and this time our listeners will hear some more of some Sammy Davis Jr. And when we return, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Doug and Michelle Sikora. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at LifestyleRadio.net.
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong. And you're listening to Lifestyle Radio. What is it? Lifestyle Radio. Say it one more time. 420 Radio? Ooh.
Hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Collect up all the cream, the Candyman can. You know the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good. The Candyman makes everything he makes satisfying and delicious. Talk about your childhood wishes, you can even eat the dishes.
Man, have you been to Canadays yet? Canadays, Campbellford's premier cannabis culture shop at 19 Bridge Street West. They've got bongs, oil rigs, grinders, and papers. Everything you need for consumption. They've got seeds, soil, nutrients, and dome trays too. Everything you need for cultivation. Get top quality seeds from top suppliers like Canuck and wholesaler Nexus. Canadays. They've got all kinds of awesome cannabis novelties, clothing, and apparel. I know, right? It's a lot more than just a bong shop. Interested in gaining legal access? Canadays can help. They're a PACE information center. You know, people advocating cannabis education. Come by the shop and check it out. 19 Bridge Street West, Campbellford. Canadays. Have your say without saying a word. Canadays.ca.
Hi, this is Al Graham of the Pace Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the Pace Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on lifestyleradio.ca.
In 2017, the Canadian government announced that although recreational cannabis would be federally legal, its distribution and sale would be determined by individual provinces. Later that fall, the province of Ontario announced its proposed legal framework, that a subsidiary of the LCBO be the sole proprietor of cannabis in our province, essentially creating a one-party monopoly. This government-controlled monopoly could result in longer wait times, supply issues, and insufficient experience due to lack of proper consultation with the pre-existing industry. The provincial government believes this framework will restrict access to children and help eliminate the black market, but this proposed action will only push illicit suppliers further underground. Meanwhile, over the past 2 decades, there's been a growing industry of intelligent, savvy, and responsible cannabis entrepreneurs who have been working hard to provide access and education around the medicinal, therapeutic, and recreational uses of cannabis. We are Sensible Ontario. We're not new, but we're excited to meet you. Visit our website now and donate to become a part of Making Sense.
If you'd like to learn more about Sensible Ontario, go to sensibleontario.ca.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Canuck seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Canuck seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
Put it in a dream. Separate the sorrow, then collect up all the cream. The candy man. I said the candy man can. The candy man can, cause he mixes it with love to make the world taste good. Candy man, candy man. Candy man, candy man, candy man, candy man. I candy man.
Hey, welcome back and thanks for tuning into the show. We are live here tonight at lifestyleradio.net as we are every Wednesday night, and I am in the front window here at Canadays in downtown Campbellford. Tonight's bumper music was a little bit different, but the Candy Man made his candy with love to make things better, and it's something that I believe our guests do with their candy. Make it with love and to make us and the world much better. Tonight on the radio show, we have those guests, Doug and Michelle Sikora of S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe, and my joint host, Kim Cooper. Well, Kim, where are we going to go in this last segment, the next 30 minutes?
Well, I guess we're gonna end off the ongoing saga, to say we'll come back and find out more what happens about with the upcoming case with them getting their stuff back. But now that it's all over and done with, you've got some security in your future and you've got this monkey off your back. What's next for you guys? What's next?
Well, this company started out as a dream, and We've got a lot of plans in the future for what we want to do. We're just we have a potential location that we're looking at moving to from
on the Sunshine Coast,
from a 1,100 square foot facility to a 3,000 plus square foot facility.
Wow.
We eventually want to have a tea room with a dab comedy lounge. We have a clothing line that we want to bring in. You know, we just want to be the one-stop shop kind of a place.
And the store that actually that once opened beside us is actually hydroponic. So we actually have a hydroponic supply store joined in with the S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe, with the S&M Medicinal Tea House, Dab Lounge, Comedy House, and our clothing line in the one store.
Wow, so that's going to be quite the enterprise. Are you scouting locations now? Is that what you're doing?
Well, we have a location that we're potentially, fingers crossed that we get it. It's here locally on the Sunshine Coast.
Knock on wood.
But you know, my theory for our company has always been, I want to be like the Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme has been around for 75 years. Never spent a dime on advertising.
Yeah, word of mouth.
There's only one Krispy Kreme in all of British Columbia. It's in Delta, and people flock to it.
It's hilarious because people that are looking for
fundraising
events bring van loads of Krispy Kreme to the Sunshine Coast and sell them for double the amount to make the money, and they sell out very fast.
Wow.
We are that company. So if you wanted ours, we don't sell to other dispensaries. You have to come talk to Doug and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
We want it that way
mass
because
producing like a lot of the extract companies out there and the edible companies out there. They're mass producing and stuff, and they've got little factory modules going on, and they're supplying dispensaries, and that's how most patients get them. You're not following that model.
No. We're quality control. You come talk to Doug and Michelle. You want to come see where Michelle grows it, where Doug makes it?
It goes back to that accountability. We're taking full accountability and responsibility for our product.
What we make.
When our fear was always, if something happened in another dispensary, if we decided to supply other stores and they're getting products from 10 different edible suppliers, if one product in that store gets tainted for one reason or another, that taints everybody. Yeah. So we just decided to take, we are going to take full accountability and responsibility for our products. If people want to use them, they need to come and talk to us about dosage instructions, what the different products are good for. That's why I think we have so many clients. It's because people value our knowledge.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about knowledge. Earlier in the show, you mentioned that you didn't even have your grade 12. So I'm going to give you an opportunity right now. I'm sitting here on your Facebook page, and you say you don't want to toot your own horn, but I think it's well worth for you to toot your own horn.
Oh, come on. You know what? I'm going to let my wife toot her horn.
I've had some success. This all started in 2012 for me when Doug was talking about his issues with WCB. They had cut him off permanently, and he was already well addicted to opioids. So we couldn't afford a lawyer again at that time, and I had to represent him with WCAT, which is the Workers' Tribunal, same kind of a thing as a court. And I won. Mind you, prior to that, I'm a certified health and safety officer, so I do know a lot about WorkSafe BC and their rules.
I'm going to cut her off for a second because I want to gloat her horn a little more. I want to let her toot. Okay, she actually, we've worked together for basically all we want, and this woman is a power. Just everything she does, she takes and goes, and basically.
So, anyways, when we went to WCAT, I was able to win Doug 20 years retroactive pay for his disability, and he now gets paid for the rest of his life every month.
That's amazing. That's major accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then
how can that be, though? You smoke pot. How can that be?
I know, right?
It didn't graduate.
I thought.
Okay, she didn't graduate.
I know, right? Well, I'm more into the sativas than the couches.
Okay.
But hold on. But hey guys, I didn't graduate either. I got kicked out in grade 11 and a half by a principal that I was A and B's, okay? Same thing. I took my life and did it. Everybody does things. Michelle's taken something. We got together, and since we've been together, what this woman has done amazes me. She was my safety officer. We've worked together. She was my construction officer. This was a woman that was the only person that I was the boss that could give me shit. And she actually phoned the owner of the company on me one day.
But then after the WCAT, I was also, again, in construction. I was a shop steward, union companies, and ended up having to take 3 of those multi-million-dollar companies to court and won every single time.
And what were they over?
You missed your calling, my dear.
Apparently.
Kim, quit it.
Different reasons. Standing up for other workers' rights, more health and safety concerns. One time it was for myself for wages.
Shut down a job site that we're building the local hospital, and actually had the fire department come down. The whole job site got shut down because Michelle said, fuck this. And the job site, the hospital job site in Seychelles was shut down for a day.
That's where you took on the district, okay? Yeah.
I know. The district of Seychelles was when this all started with the whole issue, and back in 2015 with the neighbors and all of that, and producing from our house. I took on the district of Seychelles twice, actually, and won both times there as well. It's just, when you believe in something and when you know you're right, you fight till the end.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right. Especially when you have a lot of people behind you that know us and what we do and what Michelle has done, and it's like, you guys can't stop. Well, like she was saying, if we would go to jail for our clients because we know what we have done for some people. Not only ourselves.
Yeah, believing in it is all of it. I mean, that's it in its entirety. It's amazing what you can accomplish if you believe in your goal.
I think I found out recently that I think I had a little help from, maybe, I wouldn't say someone above, a spirit around me. How would you say it? Whatever you believe in. You don't know this about me, but I was abandoned as a baby. And I grew up as a ward of the court in the foster system. Been on my own since I was 14. My birth family found me when I was 37 years old. That's a whole other long story. But I recently just found out, and I'm East Indian, by the way. My birth grandfather was a very prominent lawyer in India.
Wow.
He's been gone now several.
So it goes back in that's what I said too when she said that. I was like,
it's in the genes.
It's in the genes.
You got the fight. My God, I married a smart one.
Sure.
But yeah, I just found that out just the other day, and I was like, well, okay, now I know where I get this little fight in me from.
That's it. It's in the genes. It's in the genes.
Yeah.
So
hey, you guys want a long show? We have some stories that since me and Michelle have been together, besides her finding her adopted family through me.
Don't even go.
And we won't even go there, but through me on a weird thing and give you hair shivers.
I'll tell you about it
another time.
Yeah. We have so many experiences that me and Michelle could make you shiver your arm.
And that's another thing for Doug and I. We are married, and we work together, we live together, we've stood side by side through this all, and it would tear most people apart, but it only brought us together stronger.
Good.
And able to fight even harder.
The strongest couples that I know say the same thing. If what didn't rip you apart made you stronger.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's exactly right, Kim. It's something like I said. Me and Michelle have been side by side, working. When we first met, she was, not into what we're doing now, but I introduced her into it and got her into my construction trade, and she took it and adapted it And it was one of these things that it was like, wow, what a woman. And it just, seriously. And she goes from no education, like you just saying, no graduation, nothing, going to that. And we get together, and now I'm a superintendent, and I've been in construction for, well, at that time, 25 plus years. I'm running jobs. You guys ever fly into Vancouver? I built the airport. I built the Highway 17. I did multi-million-dollar jobs, and this is why I'm the way I am, because I hurt myself. But Michelle and me got together, and she just adapted to doing safety, doing all this out. And then from that, we both were so injured, but patience of our company. And then she took on what she took on over the course of our last number of years. Was bizarre. And like I said, I'm so proud of my wife. It's bizarre.
Oh, you should be. You're lucky to have her. I mean, she's got you guys through a lot. She's obviously very talented when it comes to this kind of stuff. Michelle, maybe look at some night courses or something and get your ass certified, man. Take a
Cam, shut up. Cam, shut up.
Well, to be quite honest, after all this happened, I had a law firm offer me to do some side work with them, just because of everything I've accomplished. Doug doesn't really want me to do it, but we're still going to go and meet and have a little chit-chat. Because
it's an honor. You know what? It's an honor when a law firm offers my wife a position to possibly, help them out. We don't exactly know, but, because they've seen what she did for us, or the firm, seen what Michelle did for us, and has actually offered a job. I'm mad because I know my wife. If she got handed a case that was 12 boxes of files, I would lose her to our company.
Yeah,
I would lose her to my company, our company. Okay? Yeah. There's two parts of our company. She grows it. I'm the candy man. That's it. If we lose part of that company, we don't have that company and that love. I know her love. I know her drive. I'd love her to do that. But
you don't want to lose her to the company. I get it. Well, I'll leave that with you guys to work out on your own. I'm not saying shit, but
please don't, Kim.
But on that note, there's always a but with me. You got it.
There's always a but with me too, Kim.
Yeah, you know it, Kim.
On that note, you are extremely good at that sort of investigative kind of stuff, Michelle. My hat's off to you, honey, for doing such a great job on this case and so many others in your past. I look forward to more great things coming out of S&M and even just out of maybe just Michelle Sikora in the future.
Hey, well, I wanted to let you know, Kim, Doug and I are going to be in Ontario in August. Cool. We're flying into Hamilton on August 8th, going to be around Niagara, Hamilton area for a couple of days, and then we're going to see Leonard Skinner in Toronto on August 11th. So we'll be in town to the 13th. I'd love to be able to hook up with you guys at that point.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm bringing a big suitcase of my animals. Trust me. One other thing, we have our victory celebration. Kim, I've already invited you. I know it takes a lot to get over to BC. We on June 11th. For all your listeners out there, you guys contact the shop. We are going to offer anybody that can make it to and this is coming to our house, 2 tickets. It's going to be a contest. If you can make it across Canada, you're going to be invited to the S&M VIP party.
Awesome.
Everything's included.
Awesome. Well, that should be off the hook this June. You're having a wonderful victory celebration right from your home. So, listenership, you've got a chance to win a couple of tickets to attend this awesome bash. All you got to do is contact Doug and Michelle or drop into their shop and find out what you've got to do to enter to get in on this amazing deal.
Yes, for sure. I know I would enjoy a trip out west if I could get out there.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing. It's been over a year since my visit to the BC coast there. Love to be able to go back. I hope it's in my future plans at some point in the not too distant future.
Yes, likewise. Never been there, son. And by those pictures that Doug and Michelle always post, gotta get out there.
Yeah.
Well, we're on the Sunshine Coast, and the Sunshine Coast is none like no other. It's a different culture here, especially when it comes to cannabis.
Okay, guys, I just give you a little hint off our deck, okay? Last year, me and Michelle ate a pineapple we grew on our deck, and it was the sweetest pineapple you've ever tasted. I'm not kidding you. So that's the kind of tease I'm going to give you.
Oh, nice. Grow your own pineapples. Like, it sounds so tropical. Like,
yeah.
You're still dealing with snow, right?
I'd love it for sure.
Now, Michelle, Tim had mentioned about doing research and that for you. I see there also on Facebook that you were looking for some people to contact you about trying to reclaim things. Did you get what you were looking for? Like from things that are close to you?
Yeah, I do have a couple cases that I'll be using as my evidence to support my application for sure. Again, there's more to it than that. Like, I don't know if you remember back after we got rated our interview, there was an issue with the no notice of hearing,
right?
Which the RCMP got for the detention order, the extension of the detention order. Well, during the trial, we had a voir dire for that, for a charter violation. And during that, the officer that did that was on the stand, and he fully admitted that he knowingly and willingly violated our charter rights by not giving us a no notice of hearing. But at that time, Judge Merrick said, yes, it is true that your charter rights have been violated, but I feel that the community would rather have this case judged based on its merits than giving you a stay of proceedings based on the no notice of hearing, which, again, a person never being given a notice of hearing has never happened. Not even the Crown could find any precedent-setting case where this has happened. So currently, under the law, I'm going to be applying under Section 490.11, but also under Section 24 as well for perishable items, because you're technically only supposed to have 60 days to get those back. But I did ask them back in March prior to the charges being laid. So there's a bunch of technical stuff that's going to have to be brought out. That's why we have to have a hearing with it.
Right.
Because really, in my view, and I'm pretty sure in the Supreme Court view, Judge Merrick should have actually tossed this case out during that voir dire when it came out that the officer knowingly and willingly violated our charter rights, and in fact had put everything that they had seized into being an illegal seizure.
Yeah.
Right? At that point, because they had no detention order. So that's going to have to come out in the Supreme Court during this hearing to have our stuff back.
Cool.
So that's what's going to be the fight. I'm confident we're going to get all of the non-medicinal products back immediately, but there's definitely going to have to be a hearing for the medicinal products.
Yeah. Well, you guys being patients should actually have a lot of weight there as well, right?
Exactly. You know, my prescription alone is 30 grams of cannabis per day.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
So all of those candies and all that fall well within mine and Doug's prescription limits.
Right.
They stole from us, like you said earlier. They basically stole from us.
Right.
So, well, fingers crossed, and we're going to stay strong and stand proud and can carry on, right?
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you back and finding out the outcome of all of this when it finally is completely done.
Is there a spot available online where your case would be available for anybody else who's looking for something similar?
Well, you can. It's already been posted on the Canley website, so you just go onto the Canley and under document text R versus Man or Sikora Man, and both the judges' decisions will come up for the decision for the charges and then the Jordan application decision.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah, you'll
Good.
find both of those on there.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And
It's just so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe I posted a link on our page as well through the Coast Reporter because it was in that one as well.
And our webpage will be getting updated really quick here. I know I apologize to everybody that's gone to our webpage because, like I said, we have over 200 items on our menu, and they will be getting pictures and better.
Awesome. That's a lot of work, I know that.
Before we get into the shout-out, just one question. What's the chances that they would send in another undercover officer and try to start this all over again? Because it's a stay, right? So they can put back the charges.
Yeah, they could. I don't think they're going to. We are a licensed. So how on the Sunshine Coast, you can drive from one end to the other in about 2 hours. So currently in Gibsons, we have 3 licensed dispensaries. The town of Gibsons has put a cap on that. But in Roberts Creek, in Seashelt, and Pender Harbor, there's another 4 or 5, 6 other dispensaries on the Sunshine Coast that are not licensed.
Right.
So with the up-and-coming legalization coming, I would think that they would probably be going after them more than they would attempt to try to do it to us again.
Why would they do it to us when we're fully licensed? We have provincial, federal registration. We have our municipal business license. We've been welcomed by Gibsons. For them to come after us again would be the stupidest thing there should be.
But if they did, hey, I'm up for the fight.
Don't get her feathers ruffled.
Oh, too funny.
Okay, I won't ask this other question then. Okay, all right. So, if you guys website, shout out to your website or anybody else's website, a person, place, a thing.
One other thing I wanted to say, guys. A good friend of ours is going across Canada with Glenn Wells. Is going across Canada with his daughter. He's going to all the way. I believe he's in Toronto right now, and we donated $100, $200, $300 gift package to anybody that is going to Glen Stop, phones our store, becomes a member and buys something. Me and Michelle donate $5 to our local food bank, and they're entered into that draw. And we're having that locally too, and everything goes to the food bank.
Nice. Very nice. Very cool. And your website for shout out?
Yeah, it's www.snmmedicinaltreats.com, and you can also follow us on Facebook, S&M Medicinal Sweet Shoppe.
There you go.
And also on Twitter at MedTreats.
MedTreats. Okay, I couldn't find you earlier.
I'd really like to give a shout out. Again, we're having our victory party on June 11th. We picked that day for a very special reason to us. That's why I'd like to give a shout out to Owen Smith, Kirk Tussaud, John Conroy, Ted Smith, Robert Laurie, all of those people that stood up and fought. Because if it wasn't for those people setting the path for me to do what I did, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I did.
And all those people have a VIP pass. If they contact us, you guys are invited to the party.
I don't know any of them personally, just through social media. But if they're listening, my deepest gratitude.
Awesome. Ted Smith started that a couple of years back with the June 11th thing for a cannabis patients party day. And I jumped on the bandwagon for that, and I held one in Temiskaming Shores the first year he did that. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. So I appreciate the date as well. It's awesome.
Yeah. Especially for us, that was a huge victory doing what we do, and that's what we specialize in. And that case was very huge for us. So
big time.
Yeah, for all of us.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time down at the S&M House.
And a big huge shout out to all of us supporters that have followed us through the past couple of years from coast to coast. Our deepest gratitudes to all of you, including you guys. I mean, you've been fantastic.
And really, all the people that have been raised in that, you're still standing your ground. And I hope that what Michelle did for our company will help all you guys that have been illegally raised and everything else has been going on in Ontario and all across the other provinces. Because it should be Canada is one. the law should be the same in every province, not every province gets a change. So let's follow BC, people, because I believe BC is going to set the rules and regulations. And we always have, because we always know who gets the best bud. That's BC bud.
Right on, Doug.
But that's what I'm saying, you know, make it one law across Canada, not just, you know, like Alberta doing 18 and everybody else doing 19 and some people doing 20. No, let's all do it the same as prohibition as alcohol that years ago, that we're going through the same thing, and everybody should be gratitude that you're seeing history right now, because we are part of history. We're seeing the legalization of marijuana, just like our grandparents or parents seeing legalization of alcohol.
That's right. We're living history right now. That's right.
That's right. I'd like to come back in 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? And see what it take a look at what it looks like 100 years from now. That'd be fantastic. Well, I want to try and get a shout out in while I have a chance. I do have a shout out for this tonight. Tonight it's going to the Indigenous Cannabis Cup, which is taking place this weekend in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory, which is just outside the Belleville area. So Belleville, Ontario, not a far drive from Toronto and many regions of southern Ontario. Hubby and I are making the 9.5-hour journey south to attend this event. So we're leaving at 5 a.m. As soon as the sun comes up, we're out of here and on the road. And I look forward to seeing many Southern Ontario activists at this first-time event in Tyendinaga territory.
All right, super. That's just half an hour south of me. Just a reminder to let everybody know that I'm back next week with a special guest. Well, not my special guest, but Lisa Yoshishin's special guest and her. You can find the Pace Radio Show on Facebook. We're on Twitter at Pace Radio. We're on Instagram as Pace Radio Show. We're also on the web, pace-online.ca. Or you can do a search for People Advocating Cannabis Education. Thank you to our sponsors, the helpful and friendly folks at CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler, the producer, the man behind the baggie and the Shatterizer, Al Rapp. And a huge thank you to our guests, Doug and Michelle. It's great to have you guys on again.
Thanks. It was,
great talking to you guys.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing
I hope you guys can, like I said, I hope you guys got passes. If you can make it, I know it. We all know Canada. I'm back and forth.
If I can't make it out there, I'll come to Toronto to see you in August.
Yeah, for
That'd
sure.
be great.
I'm up for that. The Toronto trip in August. I'm going to put it on my calendar. I'm definitely going to try and make it happen.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah. I got a big suitcase.
Awesome.
All right, good. All right. And also, thank you to our listeners. Thanks for tuning into the program. Thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.